Yes!
Bows made their debut in the Destiny franchise in the Forsaken DLC, which kicked off year 2 of Destiny 2. And honestly, when I first saw that bows would be a weapon type, I didn't know what to think of them at first. I didn't think it was a bad idea for them to be in the game because the more weapon types, the merrier, but I didn't really think that this would be a type of weapon that I would go particularly crazy over. And as far as I remember, I think that a handful of the Destiny player base felt the same way. I didn't really start using bows until several seasons into year 2, but just a couple seasons ago, I ended up finding out that the void damage exotic bow, Monarque, became one of my favorite exotic weapons in the game. And it's really odd that it took me this long to develop an affinity for this weapon, especially considering the fact that I've had it since the season it released in, which was season 5, the Black Armory. And even though I really enjoy this weapon a lot, I don't see a lot of other people using it, and I believe that the Destiny fanbase doesn't have the highest opinion of bows as a whole. So in this video, I want to discuss a few ideas in regards to how we could buff Monarque so that it could shine amongst all the other staple exotic weapons and hopefully find its way in everybody else's everyday loadout. So without further ado, let's get it in. Okay, so quick introduction to Monarque. We already noticed a void damage exotic bow, but it also has 76 impact and a draw time of 684, placing it in the precision frame archetype with the likes of Subtle Calamity and Accrued Redemption from the Garden of Salvation raid. Monarque's intrinsic perk is known as Poison Arrows, and it states that arrows fired quickly after a full draw become poison arrows. Precision hits with poison arrows spread poison to nearby enemies. Okay, so basically, in order to gain the poison effect, you have to fire the arrow within a half a second after fully drawing it. If you wait too long, you won't be able to apply the poison effect to enemies damaged by the arrow. However, if you're able to apply the poison effect to an enemy, they'll be afflicted by a damage over time effect. Precision hits will disperse a cloud of void damage to nearby enemies and afflict them with a damage over time effect as well. And Monarque's second perk is Snapshot Sights, which increases the aim down sight speed. I'm pretty sure you know what Snapshot does, but anyways, if I were to buff this weapon, I would propose that the same effects provided by the Dragonfly perk should be built into the Poison Arrow's intrinsic perk. Now, I like the fact that you're only required to simply hit an opponent's crit spot with a poison arrow in order to spread poison to nearby enemies instead of killing them with a precision final blow, but sadly enough, there's no added benefit of killing enemies with precision final blows. Just think about it. Monarque would make short work of adds and make them all incredibly easy to kill if every headshot death spawned a void Dragonfly explosion, because Dragonfly has a much wider area of effect than the Poison Cloud does. This means that a lot more enemies will receive the damage over time effect. As for Snapshot Sights, I think that this perk should be reworked a bit. Now, if it were up to me, I would rename this perk to the Butterfly effect and would give it the benefits of Snapshot Sights and Archer's Tempo. If you aren't aware, Archer's Tempo is a trait perk that decreases a bow's draw time after each precision hit. On the left side of the screen, you will see a 3-second Archer's Tempo timer when the perk is active. Repeated precision hits will continually reset this timer, and within this 3-second window, your bow's draw time will be noticeably faster. As of presently, Monarque's catalyst hasn't been revealed yet, so I think it would be cool if his catalyst reduces draw time to equate to the 612 draw time on the lightweight frame bows, such as Arsenic Bite, for example. This will make Monarque even more unique because it will be able to reach a draw time that other precision frame bows cannot. You can also reduce the draw time on legendary bows via the perks such as Elastic String and Flexible String combined with a draw time Masterwork, and unless my math is incorrect, the biggest draw time reduction bonus that precision frame bows have access to is around 30 something points, meaning that you won't be able to get the draw time much lower than 650 something for the precision frame bows since their base draw time is 684. If Monarque had a 612 draw time, it would feel leaps and bounds better than the other bows in its respective archetype. And I know I might sound a bit contradicting saying this, but I've never really had that much of a problem with Monarque's draw time. It already feels pretty snappy and responsive due to having Snapshot Sights, but I always felt that simply having Snapshot alone just wasn't enough. I suppose it's safe to say that when I think of ways that exotic weapons could be buffed, I always think of Ace of Spades in the sense that its intrinsic and trait perks consist of 2 perks of their own, giving Ace 4 perks instead of just 2. Yeah, I'll be honest when I say that Ace of Spades set the bar pretty high in regards to how powerful I think exotic weapons should be. And there are other things that you have to understand as to why I want Monarque to receive a buff. For one, Bungie is aware that bows aren't used nearly as much as other primary weapons in the game, to the point where all bows are receiving a 10% damage buff to red bar enemies in PvE. 10% may not be a whole lot, but it's definitely something, and I'll take 10% over nothing at all. Bows are unique in the sense that they teeter-totter on the fence of special weapon and primary weapon, in a sense that they deal some pretty satisfying damage to be primary weapons. To me at least. And based on the fact that you can engage enemies from afar, I'm vaguely put in the mind of sniper rifles. Of course, bows aren't nearly as powerful as sniper rifles, but bows don't have range fall off. because instead of having a range stat, bows have the accuracy stat, which determines the likelihood of hitting opponents at extended distances and with hip fire. So it's almost like you're cheating if you're using a bow, especially in a difficult in-game activity such as a Master or Grandmaster Nightfall Strike, where survival and avoidance of close range fights are paramount. Also, history has proven that when a weapon is buffed or receives a positive rework, that weapon and other weapons in its particular archetype and weapon class will see a huge increase in usage. If Le Monarque were to be buffed, I can guarantee you that not only would a lot of people start using it, but you would see a lot of people using other bows such as the Accrued Redemption and Subtle Calamity that I spoke of previously. Bows are never really used in PvE as much because they don't deal with adds effectively enough, but believe me, if Le Monarque had Dragonfly added to his intrinsic perk, as well as the faster draw time from Archer's Tempo and a draw time Masterwork, the perception of bows across the board would change as we know it. To make matters worse, Le Monarque is the only of the 3 Black Armory exotic weapons to not have an ornament yet. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because Bungie usually makes ornaments for weapons and armor that see a lot of, or at least a decent amount of play before their respective ornaments are released. At one point in time, Modern Multi-Tool was one of the most popular weapons in PvP, which led to 3 or 4 ornaments being created for it. The same applies to Ace of Spades and Telesto. Now this is an obvious and very consistent trend that can't be denied, and I realized that this video is going live in the final couple of days of Season 10, and with Season 11 being so close, who knows? Le Monarque could finally receive an ornament after a year and a half of being in the game and not having one. Well, everybody, that does it for this one. I hope that you enjoyed this video. In the comment section, tell me if you use bows and if you think that Le Monarque and all of the other bows in the game are deserving of more love. If you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor and thumb rest to that like button until it turns blue. And if you're new to my neck of the woods, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so you don't ever miss a video of the most elite gaming content. But with that being stated, 1LHD is over and out. Y'all take it easy.